Hi folks, I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Candidates 2019. Today we have 6 candidates running for the office of Council at Large on the Township Council. Only 3 will be on the council after the election. I'd like to introduce the Republican incumbents today. Beginning on my left is Mary Sohor, who is the council president, Debbie Walker, and Dr. Anita Greenberg-Belli, who is the council vice president. Ladies, thank you for coming out today. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having us, Gene.
If we can begin for folks who may not know you, newcomers to the township, even though you're long-time members of the council, give us a little resume. If we could start with you, Mary,
okay,
please.
Gene, thank you. Well, I'm Mary Sohor, and I've been a resident of Old Bridge Township for the past 42 years. I became involved quite a few years ago with my late husband, Roman, when he was elected to the town council. I've been on many boards, volunteer committees, housing authority commissioner, and I've been a council person now for Ward 2 for the last 10 years. So I think I bring a very good rounded experience for the seat, and this year I'd like to become a representative for the entire town.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Debbie, if I may.
My name is Debbie Walker. I've been a resident of Old Bridge for 31 years. I'm married to my husband, Bruce, who's on the Cheesequake Volunteer Fire Company for over 31 years. Currently, he's the assistant chief. I have 2 children, Brian and Eric. I've been very involved in the community through Boy Scouts. We were very involved. My son Brian's an Eagle Scout. We were involved with the PTA, Mid-Madison Women's Club. I was on the planning board, open space committee. I've been a fire commissioner, very involved with the fire company, and I've been serving 2 terms on the council right now.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. And Anita, how about you?
Hi. Gene, thank you for having us. My name is Dr. Anita Greenberg-Belli. I've been a resident of Old Bridge for 25 years. I've been married to my husband, Dr. Daniel Belli, for 32 years, and our daughter Marta graduated from Old Bridge High School in 2014. I'm a veterinarian. I've been practicing for 36 years. My husband and I are partners and owners of the East Brunswick Animal Hospital. I've been very involved in town. I've been on the Open Space Committee. I've served on the Planning Board, on Economic Development. I've been a liaison for the Shade Tree Commission. I'm on the TNR Committee. I'm a member of the Historical Society, and I'm a commissioner for the MUA.
Okay, thank you, Anita. Let me ask you a question that I've heard other people ask. What does a councilman at large do? What is your responsibility? What is your constituency? Who wants to? Debbie?
Well, we have, as you've mentioned before, we have 9 council people, 6
Right.
for wards. They represent the wards.
Right.
At large represents the entire town, so all
Okay.
65,000 residents we represent.
Okay, so who is your constituency, though? Can somebody call you from any part of town and you take it to the ward council
No, we
person? You
follow
handle it.
through. I do like to include the ward person as well, but we can handle any problem.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. If I can, another question. What have you learned? I guess, Mary, you're a long-term council person. What have you learned from your experience on the council?
I think I've learned a lot, Gene. I think that first and foremost, you have to have a very much respect for your residents. I think they do watch, given the busy lives that they lead.
Yes.
I still think they take the time to watch that council meeting. And I think they need to know that you're there for them. You need to learn how to listen. You have to listen to co-counsel, and you have to show respect. It's something that I feel is lacking right now, but I think that, you know, we really do have to respect our each other and our constituents. I've learned how to listen and how to try to help people as best I can. It's a process, you know. You learn that nothing gets done immediately. There are steps that have to be followed. I mean, you can throw out all the rhetoric you want, but at the end of the day, things have to be done in a certain legal fashion. So I've learned quite a bit.
Okay, it sounds like you have.
Yeah.
Debbie, can I ask you the same question? What have you learned from 2+ terms?
Yes, I learned it's very important to be involved with the community, to be out there. We're out there constantly, even whether it's not election year or not, we're out there meeting the people. We go to as many events as we can. We're very supportive of the special needs soccer program. We're out and about meeting people. We want to hear their concerns. Even when it's not election, we knock on doors to see what people's concerns are. I think it's very important to be involved in the community.
Anita, do you think that the residents appreciate this activity on your part?
Oh, very
This
much
kind of
so.
activity?
We hear it all the time, especially after council meetings. We get calls all the time for thanking us actually, the way that we presented different issues, the way that we've explained different issues, different forums that we brought different information to the community to let them understand the process on how things are done. And I think we've been a good advocate for the residents. I think that looking around town, you could see it's a vibrant community. We brought a lot of positive things to the town. And I think people are realizing it when they send in their tax dollars, they're getting something in return now for it. And as all of us realize, being on the council, you have to prioritize things, and there's certain things that unfortunately you can't do. That's not, in the realm of the government to do certain things.
Right, but people may expect it.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we certainly are respectful, we're reasonable, and we're responsive. And like Mary and Debbie said, it's not just election year. We're out there all the time interacting with the public and being a visible presence.
Okay, thank you, Anita. If I may ask you, Mary, what would you consider either your personal or the council's greatest achievement during your tenure?
Well, on a personal note, Jean, there's several things that I think were very important. The land acquisitions that we've done for open space.
Yes,
For instance, Cottrell Farms, the Whitney Estates. There has been a lot of open space that I have been involved in preserving, along with the other members of the council, and that's something I'm very proud of. Also, I founded the HOA Connection, which is a homeowners association board that meets quarterly to discuss the needs of the associations, and that's been written up this month in a magazine called Trending Communities, which is part of the HOA Association. It's being touted as a model, and we're going to be doing an interview with them for this program. I think the communication component is so important when you're dealing with your residents. They want to know you, and they want to feel you're accessible and have a place to go where they can talk about their problems, as many associations do have issues, and residents want answers. So we bring together professionals, we have guest speakers, and when they leave there, they have the information they need to bring back to their associations. So we're touching several hundred residents, each quarter.
Right.
And I think communicating with your residents is the key component.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Debbie, how about you? What's been your greatest personal or council satisfaction?
The thing I'm most proud of is the Clean Communities program that was co-founded by Mayor Henry, Mary Sohor, and myself. When I first took office 7 years ago, we found out that there was grant money out there that was being wasted by buying little doodads and things like that. And we found that we were able to take that money and put it back into the community by volunteer organizations doing cleanups around town, and their organization would receive $500. So it's a win-win for the town. Not only is the town being cleaned up, but we're also financially helping many of our volunteer organizations. And it has taken off. It's a state model right now.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. Actually, at the League of Municipalities, they did a presentation on it. And if you see, we're so busy. So many groups are trying to get involved in it, and we go to many of the cleanups. And it's unfortunate that people keep dirtying the roads back up. Yes, but we just did a beach cleanup about a week ago. We do several beach cleanups a year that we've been going there for several years now. It's a very successful program.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Anita, you've been one term on the council. What's
Yes.
been your greatest achievement, your greatest satisfaction?
Well, it actually started when I was in town. I got involved with the open space referendum at that time. And then I spearheaded the preservation of nearly 200 acres of land that was deeded to open space, and it formed a green belt from the high school to the soccer fields.
Right.
So I'm very proud of open space. And by doing that smart growth, when developers come in, as we know, developers have a right to have a development, but I advocate for a buffer system and also for open space. And we're right now looking at other parcels, and we're very active with that. And also, as you know, the TNR committee.
Right, I was going to ask you about that.
which-
How's that going?
Well, there's two sides to it, and as all of us said, you always have to listen to all the residents. It's a volunteer program.
Yes.
And so it's in this initial stage, but we have made an impact throughout the town, and I advise other people to get involved, and then we'll be successful. And in fact, when they say, Debbie, just like Councilwoman Walker, when she said about the clean communities at the legal municipalities, the mayor presented that. The TNR program is really all over. We hear it in South River, we hear it in East Brunswick now, so it is growing throughout the state, and it will probably become a state program.
Really? Okay, that's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Anita. Anita, from your perspective, 1 year, 1 term in office, what do you think right now, as you run for re-election, what do you think is the greatest challenge that the township faces?
The greatest challenge, unfortunately, is the mandates that we get from the state.
Really?
Yeah, it's very frustrating because sometimes the residents don't understand that we're put in a position that when we get certain mandates from the state, just like the high-density housing,
Yes.
we make decisions, and I could say that Councilwoman Walker and Councilwoman Sohor, we were all voted against that. But it does come down from a mandate from the state, and it's a judge who doesn't live here. I don't even think they visited here,
Right.
and they impose this high-density housing on us, all at the same time with not addressing infrastructure. So that really creates a very difficult situation with our roads. We have roads that go through the town that are county and state, and they don't address that, but yet forcing this on it.
And yet you're a little powerless to act because it is, as you said, a mandate.
Yes.
So there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah. Well, the things that we try to do, I've reached out to Senator Thompson, Assemblyman Rob Clifton, and Ron Dancer, so we reach out to them. But as you know, down in Trenton, they're the minority.
Yes,
they're
sir.
on board with us. They
Right.
agree 100% that this is unfortunate that's forced upon us. And that's why it's so important for open space and the open space referendum to acquire some property. And not only that, the property that we've been great advocates of maintaining it, all our parks, making improvements, recreation facility. So as you can say, we're very active, and we try to keep in a positive direction.
Okay, thank you,
Jean,
Anita.
can I-
Folks, Mary, if I
Yeah,
could
not
ask you
to
just to hold your thought
okay.
for a moment. We're getting ready to take a break. We're already at the halfway mark. We'll be back in a few moments. We are talking to the incumbent at-large candidates for re-election, Mary Sohor, Debbie Walker, and Anita Greenberg. Please stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Folks, welcome back to Candidates 2019. We're talking about challenges facing the council, and I'd like to turn the floor over right now, if I may, to Mary Sohor. Mary, you were just about to say something.
Yes,
We went
thank
to break.
you, Jean. I just wanted to piggyback on what Dr. Greenberg-Belli had said.
Please.
I also have concerns with Middlesex County.
Ah.
We seem to have, don't have the ear that much of the county. Councilwoman Walker and I 2 years ago had gone and asked about perhaps them helping us do a bulk pickup here in the community. You know, we have private garbage service, so
ma'am.
naturally we don't have the equipment that we would be necessary for a bulk pickup. And from what we're told, it's very expensive. So we thought that perhaps, since we do send a lot of money to the county,
Yes.
that they may, consider coming and doing it for us, even if it would be twice a year. We didn't want to put more of a burden on the local resident and charge them more taxes
Right.
in order to achieve the bulk pickup. Well, unfortunately, we were told no. So there's been a few occasions now where we have gone and asked for their support, since we do contribute to the county base, and we have not been successful. So I find that troubling as well, Jean. I wish there would be a little more communication and a little more ability to help us, since we do contribute.
So to overcome this, it's
Yeah.
going to take some work. This is a challenge, as you see.
Yes,
to get
I
a
do,
bulk pickup.
because we need, work. Well, it's something that people have talked about,
Yes.
and we thought the county, if they have the equipment and machinery and so on to help us, that even if twice a year they would come, and that would take the burden off of the local taxpayer, and let us have some return on that tax money that we send them every
Yeah, I
year.
don't blame you.
Yeah. So that, so to me, that was one of the challenges as well, trying to work with the county and get them to assist us a little bit more in some of our initiatives.
Okay, Debbie, what's the greatest challenge as you see it?
I find dealing with the state of New Jersey, they are involved in our town. Recently, I'm sure you're aware that Governor Murphy took away some school funding from Old Bridge
Oh, we've
after
heard
their
about
budget
that.
was drafted, which I think was horrible, not only to the taxpayers, the students, and the teacher. It was a horrible thing to do after the budget was drafted.
Yes.
And then also we find a lot of trouble dealing with the state and things that we want done around town, such as the medium on Route 9 for safety. We just say how many people need to die before you're willing to put up a medium
Right.
on Route 9. Traffic lights, they fight us for traffic lights at dangerous intersections. And also, to piggyback on Dr. Greenberg said, the housing that they force on Old Bridge without even coming here. And some of the judges have worked for the builders in the past, and it's terrible that they decide where they're going to build in Old Bridge and how many houses we could take, and they put them in inappropriate locations in densely populated areas that already have traffic problems without even consulting us. And that's our biggest challenge to me, is
Biggest
dealing with
challenge.
the state.
What would you like to accomplish if you could, something in the control of the council? What would you like to do in the new semester?
As far as moving forward,
Yeah,
what we-
moving forward, if you were reelected, what would you like to accomplish, either as an individual or as a
I would like to
council?
continue on the path we are right now. We have stabilized the taxes. When I first took office 7 years ago, we had about a $7 million deficit, and we've turned the town around. We now have we're on strong financial footing. We have a AA positive Moody's bond rating, which allows us to borrow money. I would like to increase the recreation. Right now we're working on, I have introduced pickleball to Old Bridge. It's a popular
It's
growing
getting
sport.
popular,
Yes.
yeah.
And what we'd like to do next year, and we're actually going to put money in the budget, we're going to have a pickleball for the special needs. And we're
Really?
trying to maybe combine it with the seniors. And we think that'll be a very good initiative. So keeping the residents safe, more recreation, and the taxes stable.
Okay. Anita, what would you like to accomplish as either as a member of the council or as a individual?
I think collectively, under the mayor's leadership and all of us, we've been very good stewards of the taxpayers' money. When they send it in, I think they're seeing value. The town has been cleaned up. We've done more capital improvements in the town. People are seeing the roads being paved, drainage problems being addressed that really nothing was happening for years. Also, we're very proud with a zero municipal tax increase.
Yeah.
Services have increased, although the tax has been, has been stable. Also, we've been ranked the 15th safest community in the nation. That's quite remarkable. But not only, on the town, I think within the municipality, the workers here, we've put money into every department to give them the tools and the things that they need to run their departments efficiently and effectively. So really, I can't say that it's one thing. It's good. It's overall creating a balance for the taxpayer and the people, making this a vibrant community that they live in, and so everyone has a good quality of life.
Okay, thank you. Mary, as you walk the streets, what are you hearing from the voters?
Well, Jean, I think the voters like the fact that we're very involved in the community. I think we have a high visibility, and I think they enjoy seeing us at the different events and know that we're really truly
Well, I know you're very visible. all over
dedicated,
visible, yeah.
dedicated, to what we do, and we take it very seriously. I think we're very positive. We don't have this negative way about us. We look to the future with pride, and the people feel that. I think they're seeing good things happening, new restaurants, new different businesses coming into the community. I think we've truly made Old Bridge feel positive again, which was something that it hadn't been in a while now, Gene.
No.
And we're attracting businesses, new people are moving into the community every day, and they're saying, we really like this. This is a nice place to live. And I think they're happy with that. Yes, they do have concerns.
Right.
They worry, like Debbie said here, about the DOT Route 9, the traffic. No, they have their concerns, and rightly so. So we try to put in different tools to help. We did target zones on the advice of our chief of police, where if you're speeding in a certain area, it's a mandatory court appearance. So we're trying to use the tools to help slow things down a little bit. So they realize that we are committed and listening to what they're telling us. I think they worry about, development, which they should.
Sure.
And we have been on the forefront of trying to put a hold on that and do it in a smart way. So they're concerned about a lot of things, but I think they feel overall we're in a much better place than we were. They feel the stability, the calmness. The mayor has a methodical way of doing things, and he has done a lot, and a lot of good decisions have been made, Gene, and I
Okay.
think they see that. I
Thank
really
you,
do.
Mary. Debbie, what's the biggest concern you hear? Mary alluded to they do have some concerns. What's the biggest concern you hear from the voters?
I think the biggest complaint we hear is speeding in their neighborhoods. And we explain to them that mostly it's people in their neighborhoods that are doing the speeding. And we will send the police out there.
Right.
And then what happens is their neighborhood gets tickets. But like Mary said, we've made target zones now to help reduce the speeding in some areas that are dangerous. And we think it's working. And that's what we're going to
And
continue
they
to
want
do.
to continue to do that.
Yes.
What do you see, Dana, what do you hear from the voters? As a businesswoman in the town, you have a pretty good handle on things. What do you hear from them?
Well, actually, we've been walking door to door, and as you know, we are very involved. We go to a lot of events throughout the town, not only just on election year, but really they are very proud of the mayor, that he is so involved and dedicated and committed, they are saying how happy they are that they see a difference. They see that their community, that their concerns are being addressed. They feel there's a dialogue that they can communicate with us, that we will be responsive to them, and we respect their concerns, and we try to address them and prioritize them one by one. And then they appreciate our honesty when we say that we don't think that can be done.
Okay, that's important too. To let
Yes.
them know what you can't do too.
Yes.
I think that's important.
Yes, actually, a resident yesterday was asking me things. I said, I have to be very honest with you, and I was explaining why it couldn't be done. And she was very appreciative that I was honest with her. Because some people will come in when they're running for election and just say whatever you want to hear. Yes, I could do that. We try to be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. In a couple words, how would you say you differ from your challengers, from the Democratic candidates for the council at large positions? What's the greatest difference in positions, would you say? Mary, can I?
I would say experience, Gene.
Experience.
Yeah, I feel that I have really, throughout the years, learned the system, learned the process, sitting on various boards, and being invested in the town. I think that we have a wealth of experience between the three of us in terms of how much we've done for the town and how much we understand the inner workings of the council. I think that's a process, and I think you need to, learn as you go along. It's very difficult to go from never having been involved
Right to all of a sudden. I can
yeah,
understand, well
yeah.
understand
You need
that,
to really, you do need to, to get on boards,
Right.
get that experience, and learn how the process works. That's my opinion.
Okay, to that point, you have a 6-3 majority on the council right now. Is that helpful to get legislation through, or is it a hinder, or is it neutral? What would you say, Deb?
I don't think it matters 6'3" or 5. It doesn't matter. It's an individual. I know when I vote, I don't vote along party lines. I vote with the residents of Old Bridge in mind. You could look at our voting record. We have voted against Republicans. We don't vote along party lines. It's whatever's in the best interest of the residents, and that's the way every council person should vote. Local politics should not involve parties.
No, well, that's one of the things that's come up. I think I mentioned off camera that there's some issues, it seems, to many people that should transcend politics
Right.
in the township. And yet a lot of things at the council in recent years seems to get very politicized. What do you think? Anita, let me ask you that
Well,
question.
I think it's wrong. I think every issue should be voted on and addressed on its own merit. When politics come in, you know how it gets messy. You can watch the council meeting now. Sometimes the rhetoric gets out of hand, and it's unfortunate. There's no reason for that. But also, you have to have respect for the employees also. We're council, but they do their day-to-day job. And when they come in and do a presentation or we reach out to them for information, I can say they're always very helpful. And the way that you may see it by not having all the knowledge, it may hinder you. So more knowledge is always helpful.
What would you think, Debbie?
Yes, I went to council meetings for 10 years before I ran, so I knew the workings and what needed to be done and things like that. I think that if you run for council, you should at least attend some council meetings before you run.
Okay, Mary?
Yeah, I think, Jean, locally, like they said also, you know, certain issues should just be like 101.
They should be
right, easy.
Yeah, but
and it just seems sometimes people are almost obstructionists when it comes to the most simple of things, simply because
that's
it
the
wasn't.
impression I get when I
Yeah,
look at the
simply
council.
because it wasn't brought up by one individual or another. And I think that's wrong. I think on a local level especially, we should just be here for the residents and do what's right because it is right, not because of who made the motion or and so on. That to me is just not acceptable.
Okay, well, ladies, I want to thank you. We're getting near the end of the program. Before we close, I want to give you an opportunity. And Anita, let me start with you. Tell the voters why they should send you back to the council. Why should they elect you?
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you for having this forum. So we do get a chance to reach out to the residents. And also I want to thank the residents for watching. I think they should reach out to me because I've been always accessible and available. I try to, as you know, on the council, stay calm and bring as much information as I can with every issue that comes up. I do my research. I put time into it and effort. And that came also from the history. I used to go to council meetings for 20 years before I ran. And you will hear if you looked at the past minutes, I was there. And so it's not just something I decided to do. I respect the residents. I want to serve them. And I certainly hope that I earned their respect and their support for the next election. And I ask them to please come out on November 5th and vote for column A all the way.
Column A all the way. And Debbie, why are they going to send you back for a third term?
I hope thank you, Jean, for having us, first of all. And I hope they consider voting me for re-election. I think that I've done a very good job. When I took office, we had a $7 million deficit. We've turned things around. Like I said earlier, we have a AA positive bond rating. We're moving the town in the right direction. I want to keep moving it in the right direction. I've attended council meetings for 10 years, so I know the history, and I know that we don't want to go back to the old ways, and we want to keep moving the town forward in a positive direction. And I'd be on column A. Please vote column A all the way.
All the way. That's what I hear. Column A all the way. Mary, you're going back. I'd like to go back, get reelected. Why should they reelect you?
Well, Jean, I think I've been a very strong voice for the residents of Ward 2. And now I would like to represent the entire community.
Okay.
Anyone who knows me knows I love my residents and I put them first always. I'm very accessible. If you have a problem, I will do anything I can to help you resolve your issues. I think this November is more critical than ever that we re-elect a team that's going to keep Old Bridge moving in the positive direction. I'm asking you November 5th to please come out and support me, Mary Sohor, and our team, Mayor Owen Henry, Dr. Anita Greenberg-Belli, Mrs. Walker. Together, we're Old Bridge proud, and getting it done. Please vote column A all the way.
Okay, well, ladies, I want to thank you for coming out today, taking the time from your schedule. Want to wish you the best of luck on the road going forward. And folks, that's Candidates 2019 for this time. Remember, regardless of your political preference, get out and vote on November 5th. One vote can and has made a difference. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again on another Candidates program. I'm Gene McLaughlin. Take care.